You know, the one good thing about Somewhere in Hiding breaking up is I now have the time and money to do what I wanted to do prior to being in a metal band. Talk about video games on the internet. What an original idea! Gather around, you fellow nerds. Let's discuss The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers for the Nintendo GameCube.
Ah, the work of Mr. Tolkien. Many a basement dweller was born upon first reading his novels, which went on to nearly define high fantasy as we know it today. So much so, in fact, that it took the works of Mr. Martin to even come close to surpassing it in terms of fictional greatness.
And whether it be in book or film form, this classic tale of hopeless good versus overwhelming evil was a huge part of my formation into a member of nerddom, along with Star Wars. Which we'll get to later. Whoops.
Onto the game, though. Released in 2002 for the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube, it adapts the story of the film versions of The Fellowship of the Ring and The Two Towers via clips from the films, in-game cutscenes, and levels based around certain events, like the Mines of Moria, Amen Hen, and of course, the Battle of the Hornburg.
And yes, it's the Hornburg. The location is Helm's Deep. Get it right.
And while if it is single player only,
you heard me, no co-op. Wait for the sequel.
Not to mention easily beatable in under 2 hours, the high level of replayability here definitely meant Mini-Me sank many hours into the game. Having the standard 3 difficulty levels of easy, medium, and hard, 12 levels plus 4 hidden levels, 4 playable characters with Aragorn, Legolas, Gimli, and the unlockable Isildur, developers Stormfront Studios actually packed quite a bit in here. Levels look great too. From the dusty Balin's Tomb to the Plains of Rohan and the Hornburg itself, the textures, weather effects, and lighting are all, again, for 2002 standards, among the best on console.
Keep away from them!
Help! They're everywhere!
We shall find you.
If you really want to see how graphically sound this game is, just look at everything going on here during the final story level. Rain, the player movements, friendly and hostile AI, projectiles, wood chipping off the barricade, and fire, with only the minorest of hiccups being during a cutscene transition. Although, in the name of being fair, there are rare stutters when a large explosion happens, but this occurs not even a handful of times, so it's the minorest of graphical issues.
And yes, all the music is straight from the films. But even though it is one of my favorite tracks from the movies, there's only so many times I can hear the opening bars to the song, which plays during the main menu, file select menu, and setting menu before I start to lose it.
What I don't get sick of though is the hack and slash rough and dirty gameplay. Aside from the first 2 levels, every one of them can be played as all 4 characters. The basic principles of combat here are shared between the 4. Light attacks, heavy attacks, ranged attacks, killing moves, and multiple combos are all easy to learn. Which to use is self-explanatory, as heavy attacks will break shields, killing moves do exactly what they say they do. A little touch I love is how each character handles their ranged attacks. As an elf, Legolas has access to the best arrows with the fastest speed. Aragorn, the human ranger, can only carry half as many arrows as Legolas and attacks just a tad bit slower. Gimli...
Dear God, what happened to Gimli? All the other characters look fine, but with him it looks like someone microwaved brown Play-Doh and then drew on it with old marker.
He has little throwing axes and has the slowest attack speed with the smallest, quiver size, I guess? Do axes have quivers? Do axes have quivers? That's a question that needs answering. The flip side, though, is how the melee attacks are handled. Gimli is a tank who deals the most damage with the double-headed axe he carries around as if it kinda weighs nothing. Aragorn's sword is a faster weapon and is the balanced one. The twin long knives Legolas has strike quickly but don't really hit as hard. The way fighting feels is, like I said, rough and dirty. Sound design helps this feeling a lot with weapons clanging, shields breaking, and the piercing of bodies, in combination with just how responsive the controls and character animations are, make playing the two towers a blast. Although, I did get stuck on a ladder and the deepening wall level, so the rare minor glitch does occur.
One of the things to notice I haven't talked about yet is playing as Isildur himself. And that's kind of because an Aragorn clone with a different skin doesn't really qualify as an extra character to me. In terms of lore behind the character, yeah, it's cool to be able to play as him, but the experience is somewhat more of just a novelty than an actual reward.
While the same character models are repeated for the Servants of Darkness, it doesn't matter as each type of foe has a unique model. What's more, each one has its own set of animations for various actions. Goblins move in a jerkier, twitch-like style, as the Uruk-hai sort of just walk up to you with loads of aggressive, stupid confidence. Now, hacking and slashing isn't the only thing you do here, as the Two Towers has RPG mechanics such as leveling up, purchasing upgrades with experience points like new moves, extra health, or more damaging arrows, and so on. It's honestly not an especially deep mechanic, but it works well within the game's structure. The only downside is the small level cap of 10, which is easily attainable before one playthrough is finished with any given character. This does mean you'll be doing the same level over and over again with the same small pool of characters just to reach that quick level cap, but since the levels are so much fun to play through, it doesn't hurt that much.
A few minor issues, though, don't subtract from what is largely a wonderfully enjoyable, violent experience. It's nice to remember a time when EA released games as full games on launch instead of just piecing them out in DLC and overpriced season passes. The Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers earns an 8 out of 10.
Hey everyone, thanks for checking out this video. If you have the time, I've got others for you to watch right after you subscribe, rate, and or leave a comment. As always, thanks for supporting me in my YouTube endeavors.
I'm totally playing a game here.